Max, you want to do a video? Huh, bud? You want to do a video? Why not, huh? Yeah, let's see. Let's see what he thinks here. Hey Max, you want to do a video? You do? It's been a while, huh? Yeah, it's been a long while. It's been crazy. Where'd you go? Yeah. You're a star. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, that's amazing. That's right. Alright. Hey YouTube, what's going on? Alright. Flip you around. Don't need to look at that ugly bug. That's right, Max. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Long time no talk. Welcome back, Infinity Highway. So here we are. What's been going on? Yeah, there's been a lot going on, kind of, for us. Yeah, there sure has. That's right. All right, Max. That's good enough. So yeah, what are we doing here? How's it going? Max and I, we are out here in the beautiful state of Illinois, running I-64 eastbound. Today is Friday, July 7th, 2023. Hope everybody had an enjoyable 4th, an exciting 4th, whatever. Time is 6:04 in the PM. Central. 85 degrees outside, elevation about 900 feet. And we are running an Amazon load in our own trailer, in our company trailer. But it's a load of Amazon air freight that did not make the plane back in Kansas City, Missouri. So it's a light load. I don't exactly know what the weight is, probably under 10,000 pounds, which is a kind of a necessity right now at this point, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And it is destined for essentially Florence, Kentucky, kind of by Cincinnati. And it is due coming up tonight. Well, I think it's due at like 1 a.m. or something like that. We should be arriving around 12:30. It's a tight schedule, kind of low. What do they call it? An expedite. It's not like lost luggage or anything like that. It's just Amazon stuff that didn't make an overnight flight or whatever. So we're hauling it out there for them. Total miles on this one, I think 680 or something like that. We got 292 still to go out there to the area of Florence. It's going over to, there's an airport right over there. Whatever the name of the airport is, I'm not really sure, but there's an Amazon drop-off area over there, so that's where we're headed. So, anyways, yeah, it's been quite a while since we did any video, uploaded anything, did any video. And there's a few reasons why. It's just been kind of an interesting last month and a half for me, for us. Starting off with, well, yeah, I guess my whole hiatus from making videos started off with the fact that YouTube gave me another strike and deleted 2 more videos back after my last upload. And and I just kind of toss my hands up in the air again because it just bugs me. You know, you got to be careful what you say now. You know? I don't know what they're afraid of. You say all you want about the 2016 election, but you damn well better not say nothing about the 2020 election. Huh? And I mean, it was videos that it was, one of them was about the 2020 election, and the other one was about COVID. So, disinformation, misinformation, medical misinformation, election misinformation, bam, 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 strike, delete 2 videos, and no sweat off my back. I don't have a monetized channel or nothing like that. I just do it for fun, and that's what makes it, that's what gets me, is I'm not making any money off of this, I don't get that many views. I'm doing it for fun. That's the only reason why I do it. And so, hey, it is what it is. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it there. So that's how the hiatus started off.
Increase following distance.
And
increase following distance. Increase following distance. Increase following distance. Increase following distance.
So that was towards the end of our last run. Our last run, Max and I,
increase following distance.
We did a 5-week run, and it was
increase following distance.
It was a long 5 weeks. I'll tell you what.
Increase following distance.
We were actually out for
increase following distance
for Memorial Day weekend, which
increase following distance.
I'm not gonna do anymore. I just don't think I'm not gonna
increase following distance.
Go out on the road for holidays anymore. I've done
increase following distance.
I've been out on the road for
increase following distance.
Every holiday weekend for the last 3 years.
Increase following distance.
Whether it be Memorial Day, 4th of July,
increase following distance.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, all of them.
Increase following distance.
Okay, why are you people slowing down?
Distance.
I don't need you to be slowing down right now.
Increase following distance. Increase following distance. Increase following distance. Increase following distance.
That's really annoying, isn't it? It is to me.
Increase following distance. Increase following distance.
So, anyways, we were out on Memorial Day weekend, and we ended up landing in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It's kind of northwestern Arkansas. Kind of up right near Missouri, kind of the four corners where Missouri and Arkansas and Oklahoma and Kansas kind of meet, up there in that northwest corner. And the truck was having some problems. It kept on throwing a code for low oil pressure, and it's something that we've been dealing with over the last 6 months, maybe a little bit more with this truck. And we had had the oil pressure sensor changed out, and that seemed to hold for a while, and then the code started coming back on. And what happens when the truck has low oil pressure, it has a safety feature on there, and it tells the truck, the ECM tells the truck to shut down on you, And so the initial stage is it gives you a flashing engine light, 1 or 2 flashing yellow engine lights, And then the next stage is it flashes a red engine light that says stop on it, and it basically it's letting you know that the engine's going to shut down, and like I think you have like 30 seconds if you're on the if you're on the highway and you're driving, you have like 30 seconds to pull off before the engine shuts down. Of course, I mean this truck is a manual, so if it does shut down like that, if I just leave it in gear, it fires right back up. We can keep going, or I can throw it in neutral and coast. So that's one of the benefits to having a manual transmission. Where if it was an automatic, it would just jack the transmission up, I'm sure. So anyways, so we're over there in Fayetteville, and there's no loads moving.
You guys push on the steering wheel pedal on the right. It helps out.
It's Memorial Day weekend. There's no loads moving, and so we're stuck in Fayetteville, and it was hot, and the truck kept wanting to shut down, no matter what, which meant, on a hot day, you're sitting in the truck with no AC under the hot sun, it gets pretty damn warm in there pretty fast. So I told the boss, I was like, dude, the truck won't, it won't idle for me. Maybe we should get a motel room for the night. He's like, okay. So he got us a motel room for the night. And I guess he was still trying to see if he could find a load or something like that. So we ended up packing up out of the motel room the next day. I think would have been Memorial Day, would have been Monday, so that would have been Saturday, I guess. I think we delivered Saturday morning really early, like 4 or 5 a.m. at a Walmart, and got the hotel room over Saturday night, and Sunday morning comes around and he says, go ahead and pack up just in case I find a load. Okay, so we packed up out of the hotel room and we went and found a parking lot over behind like a strip mall in a movie theater, and it was just a big, huge parking lot. Nobody was really parking back there. There was a big grass area. There was lots of trees and shades. We went and parked underneath there and spent the next 2 days or 3 days there. Sunday was Sunday, Monday, and part of the day Tuesday, I think. So, and that was all right. It actually wasn't too bad. It wasn't like crazy hot. We had shade. I actually made a little campfire, had a few drinks and stuff like that. So we actually had a nice Memorial Day. And so Max and I were hanging out. I got a little folding camping chair, that I bring with me so I can hang out. Whatever. We actually enjoyed ourselves. And, Max is out there running around in the bushes and the trees and barking at all the squirrels and all that kind of shit. And, it was, so it was towards the end of May, and there was a lot of ticks, turns out. And I ended up getting bit by I ended up getting bit by 4 different ticks. And I've never been bit by ticks before, not that I can remember. I mean, maybe when I was a kid, but I don't think I've ever been bit, as an adult. I've had them crawling on me plenty of times. But these things were little. I mean, like the size of the head of a pencil. And one of them bit me up on my chest. And it was just so little, this thing, I mean, I wasn't even sure it was a tick at first. When I looked at it, I was like, yeah. I had to put my glasses on. And I could just barely make out its little legs, So anyway, whatever, I guess Tuesday rolls around and we finally get a load. We make our way home. And dropped the truck off at the yard. The boss wanted to do, I gave the boss the list of things the truck needed. So let me back up a little bit. So after that, what we determined what the problem was with the truck was that we had too light of an engine oil in this truck, right? Because this is a Cummins, and we've been running a 5W40 full synthetic in this truck, and apparently that's not recommended in this truck. It's too light. And what was interesting, you know, and it makes sense when I know, you know, once I thought about it, was that I was losing my engine brake. My engine brake was like, it was like nothing was there. You know, clicking on and didn't slow me down for shit. You know? So we did an oil change on it, and they recommend, Cummins actually recommends that you use a 1530 conventional, much thicker oil, and solved everything. It solved all the problems. The low oil pressure lights all went away. It stopped going into shutdown, and I had an engine brake again. I can imagine that. So we went and picked up a really, really heavy load that took us out to Utah, kind of. Forget what the name of the city was, but over off of 15. And the route to take us there was we needed to take 70 past Denver, up into the Rockies, and through the mountains in Utah. And we were getting, when we did the oil change, they do a fuel filter. They do the water, the fuel water separator filter, you know, and do the oil change, you know, oil filter and all the stuff. And the engine started throwing a code for a fuel filter. So he says, well, take it to another Speedco and have them reseat, you know, just check the fuel filters. Okay. So they checked them, they said, they pulled them both off. They said, yeah, everything's seated right, all the gaskets look fine, everything. And so, okay. But, so the load that we hauled out there was, we were gross.
Be in either of the two right lanes.
79,500 pounds, something like that. So we were basically at max weight. Gross weight. And when we were running through Utah, we got over to the Rockies fine. We got down into Grand Junction fine. If you ever run that route, you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, you got some steep stuff out there. But we got through the Colorado Rockies, no problem. We got out into Utah, and in Utah, there's a lot of hills and valleys, and they're pretty steep, significant upgrades and downgrades. And the truck was barely making them up, but you know, I mean, like I said, we were gross weight pretty much. And this truck doesn't have very much power. It's only a 400 horsepower truck. Yeah, it was barely making it up these hills. It was actually like, whereas normally I could climb up a pretty steep upgrade at around 28, 29 miles an hour, and I'm not stressing the engine too hard or nothing. We are entering city limits of Mount Vernon here, by the way. In this case, the truck was dropping down. The only way to get up these hills was to drop down into fifth gear. I was basically running up 10 miles an hour, over and over and over and over, right? So I'm sitting there going, man, I mean, this is a heavy load, but geez, I don't remember ever having this much trouble on this route before. You know, maybe I'm telling myself, you know, I guess I've never run that route very heavy before, you know, because I've run it plenty of times, never had that problem. So we deliver that load and then run down to like I forget, St. George, something, I forget where we picked up our next load. Might have deadheaded down to Las Vegas and picked up our load to take us home. That's what it was. Yeah, we had to run down to Las Vegas. Went over to Pepsi, picked up another heavy load, like 42 or 43,000 pound load of Pepsi stuff, and basically that took us back into California where we delivered in.
Lucas, you need to tell them to send me some more stickers. Damn, we can blast them off.
we delivered in Fresno. And again, the truck was just being a dog the whole way home. It was just being a real dog. And the fuel filter code had come back on and stuff like that. So obviously the fuel filters, having them reseated didn't fix anything. So anyways, wrote him a list of stuff that the truck needed when I got back to the yard. He did some of it he didn't.
In 1.5 miles, keep left to I-64 East.
And so anyway, where I'm going with that was, he goes, when do you want to come back? And like I said, we had just done a 5-week run. And I says, well, how about we just do it like this? Because I said, how about just, when the truck is ready, just let me know and I'll come back. He goes, oh, okay, that's fine. I said, all right. Because there's a few things that we needed to have done. And more often than not, when I give him a list of stuff to do, he waits, and I'll tell him like, okay, I'll be back, next Wednesday or something like that. He'll wait till Tuesday to start doing shit on the truck and then not have time to do anything. And then when I come back to work, I have to take my time. Instead of going out and just starting driving, I have to go
Be in either of the
take
two left lanes.
someplace and use that time to do it myself anyway. So it's just pointless. That's why I told him, I said, well, just let me know when the truck is ready, I'll come back. So, geez, 2.5 weeks went by, and he ended up having a new oil pump put in. I don't know why, he didn't need to, but he did. And
Continue on I-64.
a few other things, I guess. He threw a generator on the catwalk, and so now, because he doesn't want me to idle the truck anymore, and that's fine, the cost of fuel and stuff, wear and tear on the motor. So they threw a generator on the back and stuck me with a big old air conditioning unit inside the cab, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but I get it, so be it. I'll try and make it work. And so while we were at home, it was like we had been home for like 2 weeks, I think, and one day I got out of the shower and I had my shirt off, and I see myself in the mirror, and on my chest, where that one little tiny ass tick had got me, I had this big giant bullseye rash going on around it. I went, oh no, and I got Lyme disease. It was just kind of, I wouldn't have thought from just like a baby. They call them a nymph. Just a baby nymph tick. I wouldn't have thought that I would have gotten Lyme disease, but I did. So I had to go through a course of antibiotics for that. In the meantime, Max had to go through a course of antibiotics. He was having a problem with his pooper glands were clogging up and getting all infected. So I had to take him to the vet, get him on antibiotics, get myself on antibiotics, and try to fight off this freaking Lyme disease. And honestly, like they say, the symptoms are like having the flu, and I didn't feel bad the whole time. The only reason why I knew I had it is because I saw the rash. And so I went through the antibiotics, and then by the time I was getting ready to come back to work, man, I started feeling bad. I did. I don't know. It was like, because I guess Lyme disease messes with your neurology. Like if you have like long, if you've had Lyme disease like an extended period of time and you didn't know it, it can make your face droop like you had a stroke, and it can make you fidget and stuff. And it wasn't doing any of that stuff to me, but it was definitely making my computer system a little strange for like a week, and then having like night sweats and stuff. So it wasn't very much fun, but we finally made it back to work. And so here's where it gets even more interesting. Is we go pick up the truck. I think I came back on a Tuesday night a week and a half ago. I come back, the way I kind of arranged my return to work was, instead of, because I live like 2 hours from our yard where the trucks are. So what I started doing a long time ago was, instead of like leaving at like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning on my return day, driving for 2 hours to get to the yard, to wait for like 3 or 4 hours for a load, so then I could drive for another 11 hours, because that makes for a really long day. What I would do was I'd tell them, hey, okay, so I'm going to come back Tuesday night and I'll start Wednesday. So what he's been doing to me is, I'll come back Tuesday night and he'll say, okay, so I got you a load that picks up tonight, you can start driving tomorrow. So I'll get back to the yard at 9 p.m. after being up since 6 a.m. at home, doing all my stuff to get ready to come back, you know, and then drive to the yard, get to the yard at 9, and then he sends me to go pick up a load in Oakland. So I had to drive 2 hours into Oakland. I get there at 1 a.m. for a load that picks up at 7. I'm just like, man, that's not my idea, you know. Like, I come back late Tuesday night so I can start early Wednesday morning. Like, get me a load that picks up Wednesday morning, no problem. Anyways, so we do that. So we go into Oakland, pick up a load, 41,000 pound load, and it's headed out to Las Cruces, New Mexico, actually Wasilla Valley, which is right there near Las Cruces and El Paso. 41,000 pounder. And so we head our way down the I-5 towards Bakersfield, and engine light comes on the way down there. No big deal. Let the boss know, and he goes, oh, it's another fuel filter code. And I said, okay. He goes, well, stop up at Love's in Tehachapi or something like that. Or I don't even think he mentioned that yet. That's right, he hadn't even mentioned it yet. But I knew the light was on, but everything had been fine. Up to the point that we got into Bakersfield and started climbing the hill up in Tehachapi, which is a pretty steep hill. So like I was saying, with the load, 40,000 pounds and up, I've done that hill dozens of times, hundreds of times, or whatever it's been. And with heavy loads, with light loads, whatever. And again, it was dropping the truck down to 10 miles an hour up this hill. And I mean, you got traffic coming up that hill as fast as they possibly can. You got trucks coming up that hill as fast as they possibly can, and I'm there doing 10 miles an hour. And everybody's just getting backed up behind me like crazy, because normally a truck that's heavy can climb that hill at like 28, 29, 30 miles an hour, right? I'm doing 10. So these trucks that are super heavy and are able to get 30 miles an hour aren't expecting a truck to be doing 10 miles an hour. They're expecting to be the slowest truck, right? They're not expecting to run in, and they're getting slammed into the back of the truck. I don't mean physically slamming into the back of it, but they're getting stuffed in the back of us trying to climb this hill. And I told the boss, I says, man, I wasn't sure until now, but the truck was fucked. Excuse my language. So he says, well, pull into the Loves at the Speedco up there, and because he checked the code, and the code was giving him if you're familiar with fault codes, it was giving him the code fault code 157, and then the other one's like a 59 or something like that. On other trucks, it comes up as a fault code 559, which is low pressure and the high pressure metering rail. Basically, there's a sensor in there, and in the fuel injection rail, the PSIs range from 6,000 PSI at idle to 35,000 PSI. Like 35,000 PSI at high RPMs, above 1,500, and so we weren't getting enough fuel. Basically, the injection system wasn't providing enough fuel to the cylinders to give me the power that it needed to climb the hill right. And it was giving that fuel filter code. And the first thing that you do when that code pops up, change your fuel filters. Because like 7 times out of 10, that will solve your problem. So we had to change it out. Didn't solve the problem. So I had to run the 41,000 pound load that like that with the truck running like that all the way down to Las Cruces. And I'm telling you, it's no fun. It just ain't no fun. We made it. Truck didn't break down on the side of the road, nothing like that. Nobody crashed into us. But it's not recommended. I'll just tell you. I don't recommend it. So, you know, during the course of that trip, you know, I'm back and forth with them about, you know, well, what could be wrong with it. And he's sitting there telling me, he says, I'm done spending money on this truck because this truck's been a problem. It's, you know, had little things happen, you know, here and there for the last couple of years that we've had it, 2.5 years that we've had it, you know, little shit keeps it popping up, you know, and it's costing it money to have stuff done on it, you know, just like, you know, all the time. I get it, but he was like, I'm done spending money on it. So I told him, I said, well, you know, and that's the first load that was coming back for this trip. So I told him, I says, all right, well, if we're not going to fix it, we can't haul any heavy loads. Oh, okay, he says. I told him, you know, I says, you know, under 10,000 pounds, you know, sure, no problem. But we can't haul anything heavy. He goes, okay, we'll just do it that way. I said, okay. So he finds me a load out of, I mean, right down there next to the border of Mexico, down in, you know, I mean, like spitting distance, literally spitting distance. We actually, the next exit to where we went to pick up this load, I'm going to talk about, if you kept going straight when it took you across a border crossing. So we took a right before the border crossing. So right down there. So it's a light load, 8,000 pound load, and it's going to deliver up in Denver. That would have been Friday that we picked it up. It was scheduled for a Sunday delivery. I made it there Saturday, 5 p.m. and delivered it. And we managed. The way the truck was running was as if with an 8,000 pound load in the back of the trailer, the way the truck was handling the power, it was as if we were hauling 35,000 pound load in normal conditions, maybe a 40,000 pound load in normal conditions. That's how much power loss we were dealing with. So we delivered for Saturday. You know, now this is coming up on 4th of July weekend. People take long weekend for that weekend. Everybody's heading up to the Rockies to go camping and stuff like that. Lots of traffic everywhere. I'm sure you all dealt with it. That was actually, so that was Saturday. So we go deliver our load Friday, 5 p.m. Saturday, a day early. And he goes, oh, okay, cool, you got it already delivered. Okay, I'll start looking for your next load for Sunday. I says, okay. And I tell him, I says, make sure it's light. Okay. So he sends me a text Sunday, 4 p.m. It says, I got you a load. It says, you want to go to Minnesota? I says, well, I don't care where I go. How heavy is it? He goes, well, it's a water load. I says, well, okay. How heavy is it? He goes, 45,000. I says, no, dude. He says, you don't want to do it? I says, it's not whether I want to do it. I says, the truck. The truck is the problem. It's not me. I can take it. The truck can't take it. They can't take it. You know? So he didn't pick up the load. You know, because I told him, I says, listen, man, because he's just like, just keep driving. And I'm going, dude, I mean, that's really easy for you to say when you're not driving the truck, right? You're in California, you're doing whatever you're doing for a holiday weekend. You're telling me just keep driving. That's really easy for you to say from when you're not in the driver's seat. It's like, okay. So that load's gone. So Monday rolls around, no load. Tuesday rolls around, no load. That's the 4th of July. And so now I'm sitting there since Saturday. I've been sitting in Denver basically since Saturday at 5 p.m. doing nothing. And I mean, I'm telling you, if you've never done it, sitting in the truck for any extended period of time, it's not anyone's idea of good time. It just doesn't get. It's like sitting in a jail cell and doing time. There's not a lot to do. It's me and the dog. There's nothing to do. So you get stir crazy pretty fast. You start getting anxious. So Tuesday, 4th of July, he calls me. He says, all right, I can't find anything. Drive out to Salina, Kansas. Empty. 480 miles out to Salina, Kansas. Okay. He says, yeah, there's nothing. He says there's only heavy loads leaving Denver. So drive out there. I says, okay. So we go out to Salina, Kansas. We get there, whatever it was, 5 p.m. on the 4th of July, and it's hot out there, 105 degrees, hot, really, really hot. Not that means much of anything, but we arrive out there to the Petro, and it's actually a really nice Petro, and they got good food there, they got nice showers there. We parked right next to a dog area, a pet area, lots of grass and stuff. And so we hung out there. And spent the night, right? No load, Wednesday comes around. Oh, and a major storm came in that night too. Completely drenched the fireworks that night. So nobody could do fireworks. Huge storm, violent storm, thunder and lightning. So Wednesday comes around, no load. Wednesday night comes around, everybody starts shooting off fireworks. The dog's going crazy, he's freaking out. Thursday comes around, no load. So he goes Thursday afternoon. He says, I drive towards Kansas City, 180 miles. Okay, empty. So we get out to a truck parking area, and this is yesterday at this point. Whatever time it was, probably 3 or 4 p.m. Maybe earlier, might have been earlier. I forget what time we got there, but we got there, there was plenty of daylight left in the day. No load. And so finally this morning at about 10 a.m. I think we had left there. We had gone over to a quick stop, gotten some breakfast, went over to Walmart. I'm just like, at this point, I've been sitting in this truck and not doing anything for the last 6 days. We did 2 short drives, on Tuesday and then on Thursday, but other than that, we've just been sitting on our ass and going freaking batshit crazy about it. So I do my shopping at Walmart, and finally he calls me. He says, I got one. And that's the local holiday. So it's been an interesting week, and it's given me some time to think about how I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do moving forward futuristically. And so I'm making some decisions right now, and we'll see how that all plays out. I'm not gonna talk about what those decisions are, but I've definitely been making some decisions, and, because it's kind of something that's been going on a lot over the last 6 months. The dog and I just coming out on the road and sitting places for days and days and days on end. It's been happening a lot, and it's just not what I'm interested in. So I've been making some decisions, and I have some ideas and some plans, and I got to make some phone calls, and know, just kind of see how this cookie crumbles moving forward. But if what it is that I want to do plays out futuristically, it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be sweet, and it'll be a cool thing to do. I think it'll make the channel a little bit more entertaining, stuff like that. So anyway, so that's that, you know. Yeah, it's been an interesting last month. A lot has been going on. You know, that's probably not everything. I'm sure it isn't. But yeah. And then my poor little puppy Max here. Yesterday, we were out there. Let's see. Yesterday, Thursday. Yeah, before we left Salina and ran east towards Kansas City, we were out there playing in the grass. You know, I must be a horrible owner because we were out there playing catch, you know, or pig, you know, playing with his pig, you know. I can kick it over there and he goes running after it and brings it back. It's kind of, you know, like playing fetch. We just used a little pig. And he landed funny on his left hind paw and broke his dew claw. And yeah, so I'm not a very good dog owner. I haven't been trimming his dew claw until he broke it completely in half. You know, where it was like split completely to a right angle and blood, you know. You know, he's just in a lot of pain from it, you know, licking it like crazy. And, you know, the thing is, it's just like with any hangnail, you know, and, you know, every time you go to put your hand in your pocket or whatever it is, it catches and it causes you pain. That's what was going on with that broken dew claw. It was broken really, really bad. It's not like just a split. It's broken completely off almost. It's just hanging on by the quick. And boy, he did not want me touching it. He was growling and he was snipping at me and shit. So what I ended up doing, instead of like trying to cut anything or touch anything, I just loaded it up with a bunch of Neosporin and kind of put it back over closer to where it should be, so it wasn't. And I took a strip of duct tape and wrapped it around, you know, his paw. You know, not real tight, but just enough so that it's not wiggling around on him, because that's the most painful thing. And when I did that, the dog, he got so happy. he was so happy because he was in a lot of pain, you know. He was growling and stuff. He wasn't happy about it at all. I did that, and he just starts smiling, and he's coming over licking me and all this crazy stuff. So, neglectful dog owner saves the day, I guess. I don't know. But so I'm just gonna leave this duct tape wrapped around his paw, and it's not bothering him. Like I thought it was gonna drive him nuts. But it's as if he understood. He's like, oh, this is making the pain go away. You know, and he doesn't mess with it. He's not trying to bite it off. He's not licking at it. You know, he gets it. He's like, okay, this is a Band-Aid. I need to leave this on. Yeah, he sees cows. So the hint. Here's the hint. They say there's nothing more sad to see than a cattle dog that's unemployed. That's what they say. Right? So we're gonna try and find him some employment and find myself some employment. So there's the hint. There's the hint right there. I'm not gonna say anything more about it. My future plans. There's the hint. Hopefully we'll both have a job soon. If everything works out. Yeah, anyways, that's the story. Yeah. Sorry if that was just kind of a long, babbling, monologue, but, it's been such a long time. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope y'all had a good Memorial Day and 4th of July and all that kind of stuff. And with that, we'll go ahead and just wrap this one up. Kind of shorter than normal, but still pretty long kind of video here. We got 244 miles still to go. ETA is, oh look, we're doing pretty good actually. ETA is improved. We're looking at arrival around midnight instead of midnight 30, so that's awesome. Arrive in 3 hours and 48 minutes, so that's good too. So that means we're not going to run out of time on our drive clock, and we can actually stop and get a break in. So that's good. So we've been running for about 5.5 hours. We're going to be pulling off here in a few minutes. Next rest area, our truck will stop come by. So, anyways, yeah. With that, we're done. We're going to call this one a wrap. So hope y'all are doing well. Thanks for watching Infinity Highway, and stay tuned. We will see how things play out in the future. If you happen to be familiar with ISX 15 and fuel system, you know, if you want to drop a comment as to what you think it might be the problem is, because we are still dealing with the problem right now. We've got a light load. We are still dealing with significant power loss. The pressure sensor, we believe, is still good. I checked the injection rail high pressure relief valve, and I believe it's good. It did not leak when I undid the banjo fitting. We did the fuel filters. Kind of the only other place really to look without doing a full system diagnostic and testing all the pressures across everything is the fuel pump head, and I know that that's fairly common. And it was more so common in the 2013 and older Cummins. They had like ceramic lenses in there or something like that. Those would fail. Those actually went through a recall campaign. So I do know that if you have a ISX 15 with a motor that was built 2013 or before, there is a recall on that fuel pump head. But we checked the recall if there's a recall on this particular engine model, and there is not. So this fuel pump head should actually have the steel updated version. But that's kind of the next place to go with it is that fuel pump head. And unfortunately, the boss is just not interested in spending the money on it. He's going to start looking for a newer truck for me to drive. Which, you know, might be a moot point, but it is what it is. You know, we're just gonna live with this one the way it is for now. Hopefully, it doesn't break down on the side of the road for us between here and home. Once we decide to head back, I don't know. Just playing it by ear, day by day. But if you have any other ideas about this fuel system, if you're familiar with it, you know, drop me a comment, you know, about that. Drop me a comment about anything else. I typically try to answer all my comments. Definitely give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it 2 thumbs down. So they say. Subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, that's it. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching Infinity Highway. We'll talk to y'all later. See y'all somewhere down the road.